Peace, peace, greetings to you all. It's your brother Naheem, BKA Lord Abba, aka Mr. Just the Facts. Tonight we was supposed to finish up some work, but we decided that we was going to fall back because, like we said yesterday, we was going to determine the outcome of what happened Monday night to make a determination if we was going to go in today. So share this out, family. Share this out. We got brother Asim Peterson L. He made a post on Facebook, and I'm gonna read it, and then I'm gonna bring him on. He got somebody else, Cornelius Sanders. I don't know if that's Sanders L or Sanders Bay. They are gonna try to prove tonight that we can't get reparations. So first, I want to read. Let me share this screen. I want to read what the brother said, and then we're gonna bring the brothers on. See if they can show and prove. We about showing and proving over here. Hold on. Let me bring my bro in real quick. All right, I got this screen up already. Hold on, Josh. I'm gonna bring you on. Give me 1 second. Let's get into this, family. It's a little conversation. Little conversation we having tonight. That's all. That's all. We just on Facebook tonight, family. Just on Facebook. No YouTube tonight. This ain't a part of the BTP usually scheduled programming or usual scheduled programming. All right, let's. I don't know if y'all can see that. Let me see if I can blow it up. Read this real quick. All right, this is from the brother Asim Peterson L. After I made a post from the good brothers and sisters of the DMV region about reparations. So Asim Peterson L came on and said, you know just as well as I know that black people cannot get reparations, Moor. So I know as well as he know. Okay. By way of Black's Law Dictionary, 5th edition, page 1167. All right, hold on. Let me make sure I got all my stuff queued up. All right, because I got Black's Law 5th edition right on my desk. So I had to make sure, because we check and double check everything around here. I want to read it real quick. It says, reparation, payment for an injury, redress for a wrong done. Several states have adopted the Uniform Crime Victims Reparations Act. And we're going to get into all of that as well. Certain federal statutes also provide for reparations for violation of acts, e.g. persons suffering under yada, 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 yada. The next part says payment made by one country to another for damages during war. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that because we gotta test what this brother is saying, because basically he's using Black's Law Dictionary to say that he's right. Negroes, blacks, and coloreds, if they're going by that name, can't get reparations. Okay, I know the argument. I said, nothing on that page proves what you just said. Now I'm going to ask you to show and prove that what you posted proves your point. And we had let me click on this. We had a couple definitions. He said, read the definition, Lord Abba, my proof is in the definition. I said, no, the definition doesn't back up what you say at all. He said, I guess he said, prove the definition doesn't back up. And then he did this post. But what they can get is compensation. But this was the funny part. He said, I used to study some of the things you used to put up back in the day. Now it seemed like you done switched up. How much money you get paid, brother? I'm just joking. I just need to lighten this thing up a little bit because we both know better than this. Well, he wasn't joking, family. Because I used to beat up on what I would call the faker Moors, they would always call me an agent. Always. Say, he's an agent. I say, okay, well, what agency do I work for? Well, brother, you just an agent. Okay, that's fine. Let's accept that. Okay, I'm an agent. Which agency do I work for? CIA, FBI, like which agency? And they could never prove that. So here you see me asking the brother to go live, and the brother has agreed. So let's bring the brother on. And Cornelius Sanders Bay. Peace. Okay, so let's start this thing. Let's start with the let me pull up your not your definition from out of the Black's Law Dictionary. Let's go over that so that the people can get a proper framing of your argument that we can't receive reparations. So it's up on the screen. Go ahead, take it away, brother.
Okay. Well, I want to start by saying that it's how can you get reparations from one country to another country when black has no standing in law? It's not a nationality, right? Black, Negro, colored, none of those are nationalities.
Hold on.
Wait a minute. I'm gonna go. You're gonna cut me. You asked me. You're gonna cut me off.
Hold on 1 second, brother. Hold on. We're gonna have a back and forth discussion. We will not do any filibustering. We're gonna have because usually when people come on here and they can't back up their claims, they try to talk as if that's gonna make them right. So if I hear something that I need to address, I may jump in and ask you a question, and you can do the same with me. It's called the respectable volley. So go ahead, brother. I just wanted to set some rules to this discussion. Go ahead,
we're gonna do this. First, like I said, I used to see a lot of your videos back in the day with the fez and the jacket and black has no standing in law and the all blah. Now, like I said, we're not gonna do no back and forth, but you put a post up there like you want to come in. I'm trying to prove something. I'm not trying to make a mockery out of you, and I'm asking you, don't try to do that to me because that's not what this is about. This is about the uplifting of our people. Now, number one, the definition clearly states that reparations is for a country state to another country state. Our people were already battered and bruised on this land. Black is not a nationality. Colored is not a nationality. My daddy grew up in the damn South, right next town to Elijah Muhammad. You understand what I'm saying? In Sandersville, Georgia. So what I'm saying is, like I know that that's not what it says.
Okay, hold on. Because
for our people to get something, that's not what it says. What it says is compensation.
Okay,
compensation for the slaveholders and compensation for the slaves.
Okay, hold on. Because you keep saying, I know as well as you know. Do you study the Moorish teachings, the Circle 7?
Brother, I come out of the Moorish American National Republic, temple number 13.
Okay, so you do. Is that a yes? You do study the teachings of
Brother,
the Circle 7?
National Republic, temple 13.
I'm asking a yes or no question. Do you study the teachings of what's called the Circle 7, the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America? Yes or no?
Yes, I have studied the teachings.
Okay, you have. Okay, in the teachings, because you brought up posts that I used to make, right? But in the teachings, it says the wise man doubts often and changes his mind. The fool is obstinate.
Yes, that's true.
He doubts not, and he knows all things except his own ignorance. So as we grow in information, it would be foolish. It would be the way of a fool to stick to the old information. the new information that can be proven is supposed to cancel out the old information. This is called growth. Do you agree with that, brother?
I agree with you.
Okay, so let's go to
what's your point though? Well, what's your point?
You didn't hear the point. The point was you said that you used to read and watch old posts and videos that I used to make.
Okay, so you're saying that. So you're saying that at one point in time you agreed with Moorish science, and now you don't.
No, you're wrong. I'm not saying that. Do you even know what Moorish science is?
What are you saying?
Listen, what you're saying is not Moorish science. This is your opinion.
It's not my opinion. I'm reading it from a damn dictionary, brother. Okay. What are you talking about?
Okay, so
dictionary.
Okay, so let's get into it.
It's not my opinion. It's not my opinion or my feeling, brother.
Calm down, because I'm good with the mute button. Calm down, first and foremost. We don't need to get all super extra hype. We having a discussion here. So
proceed.
First and foremost, for those that's watching, what this brother is saying is not Moorish science. It's nowhere in the.
You never said it was. You're talking about Moorish science. I know.
It's nowhere in the doctrine or the teachings of the Moorish Science Temple of America. So he's trying to now twist what he said around about what I said. I said nothing about this being Moorish science. Excuse me. I said nothing about me not following Moorish science anymore. These are his words. I didn't say that at all. Didn't say that. So, and then I said this, what we have up on the screen is not Moorish science. These are this brother's opinions. So this brother's opinions about reparations. That's what this discussion is about. I used what's taught in the Moorish science to show how growth works. The wise man doubts often and changes his mind. The fool is obstinate and doubts not, and he knows all things except his own ignorance. That's Moorish science. We can find that in the lessons. So I'm going to unmute the brother so that we can go back and engage in this conversation civilly. I want to get to your claim that we can't receive reparations because we go under the title of Negro, Black, and Colored, and you interpret that to mean what is said in this definition of Black's Law Dictionary, where it says payment made by one country to another for damages during war. So it's on you, brother.
Okay, well, like I said, Japan got reparations because the United States did what they did to them. They got reparations. You keep cutting me off, man.
Wait, bro, I'm not. Look, if you say Japan, brother, just
me off, bro.
Just hear me out. Just hear me out.
Man, is this what you invited me to your show for?
Listen, wait, hold on, brother.
Don't be an asshole, man. Damn. Would you invite?
The only thing I was going to say was, if you're going to say Japan got reparations, I'm going to just ask you to prove that Japan got reparations. Don't curse at me, dude, because you wouldn't curse at me in my face. Don't do that. So I'm going to unmute your mic. I'm going to unmute your mic. Now, can you just show us where Japan got reparations and who they got reparations from?
Brother, this is not, I'm not trying to prove you wrong or none of that. What I'm telling you, all I'm telling you is, according to the definition and Abraham Lincoln's executive will and so on and so forth, that Black is not a nationality. How can the people that don't have a nationality collect something? Who are the people before they were called Black? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. That's what we're getting at. But you seem to bring me on this show so you can try to make a fool out of me or something. That's not what I'm not trying to make a fool out of you. So you can try and do what you want to do. But all my question is this: when I first studied you and followed you and watched you, you were not saying the same things you are saying now. So now I'm questioning that. Why are you now have changed your mind, wise man?
Okay, I've explained that already. So you said Abraham. What did you say about?
No, you didn't.
No, you okay, didn't. I didn't. Okay, let me explain it again for those that didn't hear it. I brought up the teachings of the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, aka the Circle 7.
Yes, you did.
I said, I quoted from the book where it says, the wise man doubts often and changes his mind, and the fool is obstinate and doubts not and knows all things except his own ignorance. I then said, so if you once held on to a position and you found that that position was faulty based on new information, you no longer are supposed to hold on to the faulty information. You go with the new proven information. Did you not hear me say that, brother?
You did say that. Now,
okay, I did say that.
Okay.
All right.
You did say that. Now I'm just keep it plain and simple. The new proven information that you have now found, proven that black people are part, the term black is a part of the human family as a nationality of people.
Okay.
Can I get it? Peace, y'all. Can I just say something here? First, I want to say, thank you, brother, for coming on the show. This is Brother Josh, one of the brothers from the BETHEPOWER broadcast. And I want to say, if you hadn't seen how we do in the past, don't feel disrespected, because what we've seen is sometimes people bring, like, when you make a statement, you might make a sentence, and the sentence might have like 2 or 3 different claims in it. And when we see that those claims have some problems, we just want to address them one by one so we can move forward, because that might, we can't just kind of gloss over all of that. So I just wanted to put that out there. Don't feel disrespected. It's just like, we try to make sure that everything is right and exact when we having this conversation. And secondly, I want to say, I'm sure you got it queued up already, Naheem. But blacks, if you want to say black people, the people under the term of black, my nationality is American. So if you want to call me black, or if somebody down the street want to call me black, or if I want to put black underneath the census, guess what? It's a United States census, and I'm a United States citizen. So that is my nationality, American. I'm a citizen of the United States of America. When I get my passport, it says United States of America on there. If I'm out of the country on that, using that passport, and something happens to me, guess what embassy I need to go deal with? The embassy of the United States of America. If I need to get sent back home, if something happens to me, I need to get arrested, or I need to deal with any kind of affairs, I'm dealing with the United States of America. That's the citizen. That's my nationality.
Facts. So
okay. I agree. I'm not going to disagree with you. However, I'm pretty sure you don't go in there and say that you're a black American. You clearly said that you are an American. Black has nothing to do with you being an American. It doesn't describe you or anything, because quite frankly, just like Lord Abba did in the past, his black leather jacket was black. It's an adjective. It does not describe you as a person, who you are, or where you're from. That's why I said, according to this definition, how can black people under that term get a reparations? How can they? How is that possible when the country does not recognize that term as being a human body of people?
Let me ask you a question. Does the country recognize the people called black in America as citizens?
Do they recognize them as citizens? On TV, they probably do. But in the streets, they don't.
In the streets, they don't. So basically, because if you're not a citizen, you don't have voting rights, you can't run for office here, you can't do anything that the citizens of the United States of America can do. I know that I am a Moorish American. I've never not proclaimed that on our channel. I've moved on from the movement because of stuff just like this, and it never being properly addressed back in the days. But I want to get back to the reparations thing, because it says payment made by one country to another for
damages of war.
The United States of America does in fact recognize the people called the Negro, blacks, and colored as it, and African American, and whatever other names they come up with as citizens of the United States of America. As Josh so eloquently stated, the nationality of these people that are not Black, Negro, or colored, but they believe that they are, is still American. He gave you an example of American. So in that, the country is the United States of America. The reparations claim is from citizens redressing grievances, citizens of the country, whether they call themselves Black Americans or Moorish Americans, etc., to the country in which they are citizens of, brother. So you made a claim. You said, and I asked you, can you give us proofs about the Japanese? You said America paid the Japanese reparations for what they did to them. So one, can you explain what was done to the Japanese? And then two, explain the reparations package that you speak of.
Well, I personally can't go into details about how much money was conferred by the United States and in Japan, but we all know they dropped 2 bombs on them, and according to certain documents, you probably can Google it and look that up and find out how much money was paid from one country state to another country state. But however, we can push Japanese people aside. Even with Jewish people, you can look at that with them moving to Israel in 1948 and things of that nature. Now, in our own country here in the United States, how is that possible? How is this country going to recognize reparations for people that call themselves Black? So that's why, it's a slippery slope, and you know where I'm going with this. But if you go to the definition of compensation,
I do know where you're going with it. I have the Black's Laws Dictionary open, and brother, nothing that you're saying is proving your point.
I just explained to you, brother. I'm not trying to prove anything. I'm just coming from what the definitions that I'm reading, and that's why I asked you if you invited me on here to make a mockery or prove it, because it's not. This is about uplifting. It's about information passing.
Okay,
it's not about proof. I'm not. Listen, I didn't write this stuff. Number one, I do know is I know everything and I know nothing. But what I do know is,
let's get back to the reparations. Let's get back to the Japanese.
Right, and what I do know is the people that do not have a nationality cannot get reparations.
Okay. So, back to the Japanese. Do you know when or around what year that America paid reparations to the Japanese for dropping bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, I believe it's called.
I mean, off the top of my head, no, I don't.
All right, so let me tell you.
I'm not going to answer that. I can't answer that question.
I'm going to tell you, never. But what did happen, right? What did happen is that there were Japanese Americans in the United States of America. They were citizens of the United States. They received reparations, the Japanese Americans, because they were interned,
okay,
put into labor, I guess you could call them, I don't even want to call them labor camps, prison camps. And they received reparations to the tune of something like $21,000 a piece. Today, the Japanese Americans are one of the largest, or excuse me, one of the wealthiest groups in the United States of America.
So what is the difference? So what's the difference between the Japanese Americans and the people that they call Black Americans? What's the difference? Because you named them by their nationality, which is Japanese Americans. But Black Americans obviously do not know where they came from. They don't know their homeland.
But hold up, brother.
They've been stripped of their nationality.
Go ahead, Josh.
But the thing you just said, it didn't matter whether I called myself Black. You said it just mattered that I was American. It's the same thing with the Japanese. It didn't matter whether they got the reparations or not. Was not tied to whether they were Japanese or not. It mattered because they were a part of the group who received damages. And that's the thing you got to understand. So when you say Black people cannot receive reparations, which you're essentially, you're trying to say because we don't recognize Black as a group, That's not, and I would agree to that. That's not.
I mean,
that's
well,
not
according to constitutional law, it's not
let me
recognized.
finish what I'm saying. Let me finish what I'm saying. Then well, we're not saying that Black should be recognized as a group, because you can't say that everybody who is Black received damages under the institution of slavery and Jim Crow and mass incarceration. You're not going to say with that claim is not for everybody. It's not. It's for those people whose families and whose family ancestors and living people today receive those damages. And so, our criteria for that is you need to at least demonstrate that you have one ancestor who was enslaved, and also you need to have identified on legal government documents at least 10 years prior as Negro, colored, African American, Black. See, those are the terms that was put on us during slavery and put on us in America to keep us as places as a bottom caste group. So yeah, those are the terms. Those are the badges of slavery, and that's why the prophet said the Europeans going to have to pay off our people for what they did in slavery and pay with compound interest. So that's what the prophet said. Now, so you can't, you got to understand
I don't disagree with you at all, brother. I don't disagree. I'm not disagreeing with you at all with your points. And my point is this: we're still wrapped around this term of Black when we know that we have something greater than that. It's an adjective. It does not describe who we are. It doesn't bring us back to a land. It doesn't bring us back to anything. So we can fight for reparations all day long. We can have this trivial, it's like a trivial thing, but like at the end of the day, everyone has a right to a nationality. Everybody has it. Yes, we are Americans. Yes, we are Americans, right? You're saying we, right? You describing me. We're Moorish Americans, right?
Yes, American citizens. Yes, yes.
But we have the other half of the people who will call themselves colored and Negroes. Those labels and terms are badges that our people are. They're not needed.
Brother, listen, hear me out, brother. I used to think the way that you're thinking. This is another one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on. I used to think all of what you're saying, and I had to prove myself wrong on so many levels. They're still citizens, whether they recognize themselves as Blacks, et cetera, et cetera. So let me ask you a question. Has the federal government ever paid our people reparations under these names, these badges of slavery, Negro, Blacks, and coloreds, et cetera?
If they have, it hasn't been publicized, so I can't answer that question.
No, it has been publicized. It was in the form of 40 acres and a mule, and the Freedmen's Bureau Bank was established at that time.
Okay.
Then they assassinated Abraham Lincoln and Andrew Johnson, who is the worst president in history, not Donald Trump.
Then we can go to President Woodrow Wilson, right?
Hold on. Reversed the reparations that we were receiving under the names Negro, Black, and colored. They didn't know themselves as Moorish Americans. So when you make the claim that it can't happen, that's just not true, because it was already in the process of happening. Many of our ancestors did receive land and did receive their mule. They were able to become productive. They were able to put their money in the Freedmen Bureau's bank. So, like, this is what I'm saying when I say the wise man doubts often and changes his mind. The fool is obstinate and doubts not, for he knoweth all things but his own ignorance. So if I learn this and then I still stick with what you're saying, because I used to say that, then I'm at the point now I am at a conflict, and I know that I'm spreading misinformation. Now, if you don't know, you don't know. And you've admitted that you basically didn't know that our people have already received reparations under the title Negro, Blacks, and Colored. And I'm gonna pull up some more things in a few minutes.
Yeah, not only that, under Rosewood, Florida.
Okay.
We got there was reparations.
Okay, well,
I'm
unaware of that. I'm unaware of that information. I'm unaware of that information. But what I can say is, if I'm not gonna say that's not true or whatever. But the thing that's been the thing that's been already going on with our people has still been going on, and it still continue to go on. We have leaders that will go on TV right now and say this, and they'll say that, this and that, but they're never going to represent our people the way you think they're going to represent our people, because those are the representatives. Okay, we're supposed to be dealing with the universal. We're supposed to be dealing with human rights. We're supposed to be dealing with the Constitution. We're supposed to be, we're supposed to be dealing with the executive will of Abraham Lincoln. We're supposed to be dealing with all these things.
Brother, let us teach you. You're on right now. We hear what you're saying, but that has nothing to do with the topic at hand. The topic is reparations. So I heard something that you said earlier about, the slave masters supposed to get compensated. The slave compensation is former. I think compensated is the same thing, but the former slave owners did get reparations. They got up to $300 for every enslaved person freed. Lincoln signed that bill in 1862. You see, we gotta become aware of what's going on in the historical context before we make claims, because I gotta go back. Hold on, brother. I gotta go back and read what you said, because you made it seem like you said, I used to study. I'm reading your quotes now. Your quote. I used to study some of the things you used to put up back in the day. Now it seemed like you done switched up. How much money you getting paid, brother? You claim that you were just joking. Then you claim that I brought you on here to make a fool of you, but
I was joking. I was joking because I never brought it back up. That's why I said it right after I said it. That's why I said I was joking. I mean, if you can't take a joke, I don't know you personally. But I'm just joking, bro. Understand more? I'm just joking. I don't know you personally, and then you said I won't say that in your face. I mean, come on, man. I'm not here for that. I'm not even here for that.
Wait a minute. You called me an a-hole, did you not?
I did, but you was being an asshole. Okay, you was being an asshole. So I'm gonna call like I see it.
That's funny.
Yeah, that is funny. So I said, chill, because you wouldn't say that in my face. And
why wouldn't I? If we were standing face to face and you were being an asshole, I'm gonna say, man, dude, you being an asshole. You're gonna get mad because of that?
Yeah, I'll probably put some hands on you. I'm just gonna keep it.
Oh, okay. So, you emotional, brother. Okay, I'm sorry. You emotional, brother.
I'm not an emotional brother. I'm not an emotional.
You're emotional, brother. I'm sorry.
I'm not an emotional brother, but I wasn't. Only thing I was trying to do was touch on a point that you were trying to make, point blank, period.
Right.
And then you called me an a-hole. So don't do that.
Yeah.
It was. That's why I said. If you see how we had people on here before and they make a bunch of claims,
I'm not making a claim. I'm making no claim, brother. Look, it says it here. Look, let's read the definition of compensation.
Hold on. I'm just saying, when people come on and they make you started running down with different things. You're probably used to saying making these type of statements, and they just kind of getting accepted. But we have to take each. If you say something that we see is problematic, we like to take it and break it down one by one. So that shouldn't be seen as disrespect because you get cut off. I know people don't like to get cut off. That's seen as disrespect, but that's why he tried to preface it in the beginning. Don't look at it as disrespect.
Brother, I only said that because when I made the post on his page, he put up something about proving this and proving that. I wasn't coming on here for all that, G. I'm not coming in here for all that. I'm not coming here for a back and forth, a debate. I want to have a discussion with you because you invited me. You said come on the page. I said yes, because I could have said no.
All right,
but
cool,
I'm here, and we want to go through the definition of compensation now. Let's go. Let's deal with that.
All right. Okay. Let me ask, why are we going through the definition of compensation in regards to the reparations discussion?
Because reparations is not mentioned in the literature. Reparations is not mentioned. I can read it here. Look, compensation, the compensation of descendants of slaveholders and other confiscated humans, property, to sum and penalty of 500 billion, as well as compensation of Moors for their service rendered during the decades of servitude.
Okay, wait,
it says nothing about reparations.
Hold on. What are you reading from?
Yeah, I would like to know what that's from. What is that?
I am reading from the Moor Science Temple, Divine and National Movement of North America, the Moorish American National Republic,
Okay, but
I'm reading out of my book.
Okay,
Right
so
here.
can I say something, brother?
Go ahead, brother Ali, because that's not a credible source at all.
Right.
But go ahead, brother Ali.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say that. That's not legal authority, right? We can't use your book from your religious organization as some sort of legal authority, particularly with dealing with the issue of reparations for the institution of Negro chattel slavery and Jim Crowism and everything else that came out of that. You can't use that as legal authority. There's no precedent for that book being used for anything. So,
brother, there's no Negro. There's Negro is a Spanish
wait,
word. Negro is the same as black.
I know. I'm not even. It's not an etymological argument, right? I'm just talking in terms of legal authority. But what I want to say is the claim that you are making, right? Because you're saying you didn't make a claim, but the claim that you are making is that black people or people known or classified as black or Negro, colored, African American cannot receive reparations because they don't have a nationality. And you're making that claim based on what you've read out of the Black's Laws Dictionary. So
yes, I'm making that claim based on what I've read out of Black's Laws Dictionary. And also I'm making that claim too, because that case, anybody could be black. Anybody could be black.
You're right. But understand that chattels, that the redress for the damages caused by chattel slavery is not because you were called black, it's because you were enslaved, because your ancestors were enslaved, and because your families had to deal with generational consequences coming out of that institution.
How would you determine that? How would they determine that, brother? How would they even determine that? Because we have people coming over from the Caribbean and other countries who are just as brown skinned and dark skinned as you and I, right?
Lineage.
And when they come to these countries,
I'm trying to tell you. I know where you get. I know what you're getting at. The answer is lineage, plain and simple. Lineage. Your ancestry determines that, right? So, in other words, you have a line of descent that either is going to connect you to this institution known as Negro chattel slavery, or you do not. Either you do or you don't. And by tracing that lineage, what you're going to realize is that your family was a part of that institution. So it's not that hard, right? So me personally, for instance, I've done it. Brother Naheem has done it. Brother Josh has done it. Our other brother Logic has done it. You know, the fact of the matter is you can go through your ancestors, talk to your grandparents. Are you a descendant of the freedmen, or are you like of some kind of immigrant background? Let me just ask that.
Well, my mother was born in the islands, Jamaica.
Okay.
Your father?
My father came up. My father came up in Georgia. Okay. Sandersville, Georgia.
Okay.
All right. So I would assume that through your father's lineage, you are a descendant of former slaves. I'm just assuming that, right? Unless your father is maybe like a Marcus Garvey type who came, you know what I'm saying, over and, you know, like an earlier immigrant of some sort. Is he also of immigrant descent, or is he of this, you know, slave ancestry?
Who, my dad?
Yes, your dad.
As far as my knowledge, my dad was born and raised in Georgia.
What about your grandparents, great grandparents? You know,
born and raised in Georgia.
All right. So here is what you, in terms of you, somebody like yourself, what you would have to do to connect yourself to that particular lineage. You would have to trace that ancestry back. Your father, find out from your father your information about your grandfather, and whatever you can find in terms of, like, what I did was I used ancestry.com, and ancestry.com has a lot of information in their database in terms of the records that they've compiled over the years for people of slave ancestry, right? Like myself, my family goes back into, and I've been able to trace my family back to the early 1800s by way of the records that have been compiled and the databases of ancestry.com. I'm talking about birth records, death records, marriage licenses, all of these different things, property records, registration for military things, all of these different kinds of records and documents are available through Ancestry and other sources. County, you can go to, like, if you run out of, I had during the last Juneteenth, not this one, just the Juneteenth before last, I was at this this panel discussion that it was an attorney and a sister. Well, the sister was an attorney and was another person who's a genealogist who were talking to the people who were at the Juneteenth celebration about how to trace their lineage and their ancestry back into the slave records, right? And it's very difficult because we know that the slaves were not listed by name in the federal census of, say, 1860, 1850. Only, like, you know, you have free so-called blacks, free Negroes during that time. And some of those people were listed in the 1850, 1860 census, but those were only like the person who was like the head of the household. Usually it was the man. So if it was one person in a family of free people, so it might have been the man, he might have been listed in the 1850 or 1860 census. But our people in general were not listed by name until 1870. So usually we wind up hitting a wall there, but there's ways around that. Because even, for instance, say if you have an ancestor that you found in 1870 census that was, say, 50 years old, but you can't find them in the 1860 census 10 years earlier as 40 years old, 9 times out of 10, that's because he was enslaved during the 1860 census, he or she or whoever. You understand what I'm saying? So there's ways to trace that
probably
back.
10 times out of 10, Ali.
Right. There are ways to trace back whether or not you are a descendant of former slaves.
So that, right? let me just jump in. I wanted my bad, Ali. So brother Asim El, what Ali is explaining to you,
it's pronounced Asim.
Asim, my bad, Asim. What my brother Ali is explaining to you is that there's a criteria for reparations, and that the largest part of that criteria is lineage. And being that you have a father that was born in Georgia, whose parents and grandparents were born there also, we would assume that they more than likely would trace themselves back to some plantation in Georgia. I believe it's safe to assume that there were, you know, spots of freedmen and women here and there, but that usually took place in the North. So that's the answer to your question. How would you know if people are migrating here? You don't get great migration of people coming from other countries until around the 1960s. Before that, the numbers is like on the other side of the decimal point. So basically, most of the people that you've seen that look like us were the descendants of the freedmen, the formerly enslaved in this country. So I want to.
That's a fact.
So you're saying that people that were obviously enslaved on their own lands.
That's a beside the point.
Yeah, that is
you're making. I'm
just throwing that in there to you know what I mean, just to get some clarification for myself.
So let me answer that.
Some of that may have been the case. But I was just going to say some of that may have been the case. We're not arguing that.
Yeah, some of that may have been the case, but you cannot, and no one cannot deny the historical fact. Even Prophet Noble Drew Ali has this in the literature, that there was in fact a transatlantic slave trade. It's just as simple as that.
Right. We like one of the mistakes that the Moors have made, and this is a mistake, right? Was to try to latch onto the idea that our people didn't come here via the transatlantic slave trade. That's not true. Yes, there were people who came before the transatlantic slave trade, right? We know that there were black conquistadors, as they were called, black conquistadors, who came with the Portuguese, who came with the Spaniards, right? There was a place, a whole colony here called New Spain, established in what is today the southern regions of the United States, and some of it went into Middle America, right? Louisiana and other places, going further north, New Spain. In the early 1500s, early 1500s, right? And there were Moorish people who came with the Spaniards or came with the conquistadors of their own volition. Some of them came of their own volition. Some came as enslaved people. But the fact of the matter is, before 1619, we already know this, there were people that came here with the Spaniards and the Portuguese. Then you have the claims of people like Van Sertima, Leo Weiner, and other people who talk about the Africans who came before even the Portuguese and the Spaniards. But that's really neither.
I don't disagree with you at all.
That's really neither here nor there with regard to a reparations claim against the United States, which comes into existence in 1776. All of that stuff prior to 1776, the history of the existence of African people or people of African descent, whether you want to call them Moorish people or whatever, I don't care, whatever makes you comfortable. The history of those people's existence in the Americas prior to 1776 is really not the issue. The issue is from the time of the formation of the body politic called the United States of America by way of the Declaration of Independence up until the point of 1965, where legalized Jim Crow was abolished by way of the Civil Rights Acts that were instituted. I'm not saying the attitudes of white people was taken away, because the people we call them white folks still to this day, which is why they stormed the Capitol building, they still carry certain sentiments about our people and our people's upward mobility in this country. We already know how they feel, right? They make that very clear, but we're not talking about their feelings. We're talking about the institution called chattel slavery, and we're also talking about the institution of Jim Crowism that was implemented during the time of Reconstruction and supposedly abolished in 1965 with the Civil Rights Acts. That's what we're talking about.
All right, I got something I want to pull up. This is sister that I know. This is and brother Josh and Ali. I would like for y'all to address this real quick, and then I want to get back to the brother so we could go through compensation. Peace, sister Janine. She said, but so-called black people can reestablish a nationality and file a case. The grievance won't be slavery, but denationalization, which caused the loss of nationality. Economic, political, cultural, and educational DEV, I don't know what that abbreviates, etc. We were not all enslaved, but we all suffered land laws, Jim Crow, etc. To get reparations, we need our tribal governments in place to receive the restitution. Y'all want to?
Let me say something.
That's a good.
I understand what she's saying, right? Because from the perspective that she's coming from, these are legitimate questions, right? I get it. But here's the thing, right? When it comes down to questioning who is going to get paid, right? And whether or not black people can receive, or people who are classified as black can receive checks or payments from the government. This is easily answered. Just look at what happened with your stimulus checks. Just look at what happened with your unemployment checks, just that are coming from the government, the extra payments, the pandemic payments that are being paid on top of the regular unemployment to quote unquote black people. You understand what I'm saying? Federal workers, people who work for the federal government, people who work for
your military, your post office,
your military, the post office workers. They don't have a problem paying you based on the fact that you guys believe they don't have that. See, the thing, what y'all got to realize is Moors are the only people who believe that so-called black people don't have a nationality. Nobody else believes that. It's only y'all. You're the only people who believe that.
Bro, them type of Moors. Let me just
really? That's not true.
Yes.
That's not true at all. That's not true at all.
I'm going to show you why it's true.
I can prove that in my own house. That's not true.
I'm going to show you why Moors are the only people who believe that quote unquote blacks or African Americans don't have a nationality. You're the only people who believe that.
I'm telling you, that's not true, brother. That's not true.
Hebrew Israelites that believe that stuff too.
Okay, well, the Hebrew Israelites believe that because they've heard the Moors saying it.
Well, that
right?
That's where they got it from.
They got it from the Moors.
But that's not true, brother.
Here's the thing,
brother. That's not true. That is not true.
Okay, I hear you. You think it's not true. I'm going to show you that.
I don't think it's not true. I'm telling you, it's not true.
If the federal government believed that so-called black people did not have a nationality, black people would never have been able to receive passports. If you have a passport, my brother, do you have a, let me ask you a question. Do you have a passport?
No, I don't have a passport.
Oh, okay. So every quote unquote black person who is a citizen of the United States is also a national of the United States and carries the nationality of the United States of America. Every citizen who has a passport from the United States federal government has their nationality listed on that passport, recognized by this government.
And the world over.
And the world over. And that nationality tells you that it is the United States of America. You are the only people who believe that black folks don't have a nationality.
That's
so now.
All right, I'm just saying. I mean, I guess I mean, we can go over semantics like all day, but I'm just saying that I'm not telling you that that's what I think. That's what I know.
Okay.
Because when you go overseas or you go to put it like this, when you go into the Olympics and the World Olympics, they're not calling Gabby Douglas the first Black American. They're calling her an American. When you go to the what's that? The pageant with the women with the pageant, they're calling the Brazilians. They're calling them all. They're calling them where they're from. They're not saying that they're Black.
But you're proving my point,
brother.
So let me ask this. Let me ask him this, brother Abel. Let me ask him this. What is the nationality of people who are classified as white that are citizens of the United States? Tell me their nationality.
The nationality of people that are classified as white? Is that what you're asking me?
Yes. United States citizens who are classified as white people, what is their nationality?
They're classified as Americans.
Well, see, now you don't have.
But they're Europeans. But you know, we all know that they're Europeans. They're Europeans. You know that. They're not European Americans because they don't say that on the thing. When you fill out a job application, it says black and it has all these other categories underneath those.
Is a racial classification. Black is a
racial classifications.
But that's not. But see, you're mixing nationality with race.
But black is not a race.
It is
black
a race.
And white are not race of people. No, it's not.
The Europeans who concocted and contrived it, yes, it is a race.
That is a social. That's a social construction, brother. That's not real. That is a social construct.
Yes. Racial classifications are social constructions, but they are in fact racial classifications. Pull up Federal Directive 15.
I'm pulling it up right now. I'm pulling, brother. I hope you're learning, and like this is just a teaching lesson. These are the race. Look, Office of Management and Budget, that Federal Directive number 15, race and ethnic standards for federal statistics. And they tell you right here, these classifications should not be interpreted as being anything as, these classifications should not be interpreted as being scientific or anthropological in nature. It tells you that they're not basing it on that. So we understand that it is a construct, but in the United States of America legal structure and their classifications as adopted on May 12th, 1977, the date is there.
Tell your brother to get it.
They have 5 definitions: American Indian or Alaska Native, Asian or Pacific Islander, Black.
I'm familiar. I'm aware, brother.
Okay, so all of these are white. All of these are American.
These are racial classifications.
I'm aware. I'm fully aware of that. Definitely.
But see, but I don't want us to argue about whether that stuff is real, whether it's accurate, whether we know that it's not accurate. We know that black is a misnomer. We know that white is a misnomer. We know that, right? We're not arguing that. But what we're saying is those words, black, white, previously before these modern terms like Hispanic and Asian, before that they was using black, white, brown, red, and yellow. Those were the colorized racial classifications that Europeans came up with. Right. But they came up with them as racial classifications, how they were trying to distinguish different groups of people on the planet. That's their doing. That's not our doing.
Okay, right. Right. That's their doing. That's their doing. So
wait, hold on, brother. I see.
Go ahead.
Hold on, brother. We got another because we try to.
Yeah, we got another caller. Hey, listen, brother. Peace. Thank you for having me on the show. I got to get these babies, man. They running around crazy.
All right, definitely.
Yo, listen, don't take the asshole comment personally, man.
No, I'll take
Peace,
it
all right?
because it wasn't warranted, but it's okay.
It's all right, man. Yo, good talking to y'all, man. Peace.
Same here, brother. Peace.
Peace, brother. Peace.
All right, so we're gonna have this conversation for a couple more minutes. So let's address.
There's another brother on here. He hasn't said anything. I don't know.
He's just listening in, but brother.
Oh, okay.
If you want to pick up the argument,
I'm gonna stay listening in though.
Okay, brother.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you, but brother Sanders Bay, hold on one second. Brother Corey Gum said, just apologize. Right? You called me an a-hole and it wasn't the case. I was just trying to set some boundaries, but it is what it is. Sister Janine says, Black people are second-class 14th Amendment citizens. Black African-American Negro is not a nationality. If we're already nationals, how come you check U.S. citizen or U.S. national on paperwork? Let me start on this one. Y'all can come in behind me, and then we're going to let Brother Sanders Bay come in. She said, Black people are second-class 14th Amendment citizens. This is not true, sister. This is absolutely false. I've not just me, my brothers that's on this platform, we've debunked this over and over and over again. The United States of America, in its legal system, has no second-class citizenship. It just are we a proxy second class by the way that we're treated? Sure. If that's what you mean, sure. The 14th Amendment didn't give Black people citizenship. We were citizens in this country from day one. People believe that when the foundation of this country in 1776, when it becomes a country, basically, that all of our people were slaves, but this just was not the case. In several states up north, 5 listed by Justice Curtis, who was one of the dissenters in the Dred Scott versus Sanford case, proved that our people were citizens from day one. Not only did they vote for the representatives that signed the Constitution, they voted for the representatives before the Constitution, the signatories of the Articles of Confederation. So this is not true. Let me address the nationals part. A national has a sort of dual meaning, right? My brother Ali brought up on passports, you'll see, we are nationals in that sense. When we go to other countries, we are nationals of the United States of America. In the United States of America, we are citizens. It is, and a national may still apply, but there's a determination made between a citizen and the national. Arnold Schwarzenegger, for instance, using a high-profile individual, is a national. He can run for a local office, but he can never run for the presidency of the United States of America. Only a natural-born citizen, because citizen is the highest title in the land, can run for United States, president of the United States of America. So let's build, because this is just not true. It's just not true.
Can you leave the comment up?
Okay,
I just wanted to address something. So you already touched on the 14th Amendment citizen thing. It's important for people to understand that the 14th Amendment does not confer citizenship to any human being, right? It doesn't confer citizenship to any human being, right? And if it did, I'm going to give you something really radical. If it did confer citizenship to somebody, it would have been the white people who engaged in insurrection against the United States in order to secede from the United States to join another so-called country called the Confederate States of America. In order for them to gain access to representation in Congress again, they had to ratify and accept the Reconstruction Amendments. One of the things you'll find in your teachings is that
she's not a part of the Moor.
She's not?
No.
Well,
no.
For the Moors that are listening, and the teaching says the 14th and 15th Amendments brought the North and the South back in unit, right? So what is he talking about? He's talking about the time that the states, the southern states or the Confederate states, seceded from the United States in order to create their own country. They were trying to create their own country. Understand that. To bring them back into representation in Congress, they had to adopt and ratify the Reconstruction Amendments. So if the 14th Amendment gave anybody citizenship in the United States, it would have been the white people who seceded and engaged in insurrection against the United States, who were the insurgent anarchists who seceded.
Let me add something to that.
Pay attention, family.
Let me add something to that.
Real quick, Josh. Pay attention, family. If anybody received citizenship via the 14th Amendment, it was the Southerners, the white Confederate Southerners of the South who seceded from the Union. They had to agree to the 14th Amendment in order to become a part of the Union again. This is American history. A lot of us are running with a bunch of made-up history.
Bad history.
And you can look at what's going on today and see the relevancy and understand this point, and it drives the point home. Just look at Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. Section 3 deals with limiting the capacity of the citizenship of those who participated in insurrection against the government, and trying to overthrow the government's acts of sedition and all this kind of stuff, because those people were prohibited from running for office or holding any type of office after that, right? And we see that there's Congress members who are being threatened, who may actually face the same thing. They may face the prohibition of being able to hold office. They may be removed from office because they participated in an insurrection, And so if you that's why. So if you think that applied to us, that wasn't us that was trying to overthrow the government. We was largely enslaved.
That's right, bro. I mean, you got to understand something. Like, I don't know if you know who the Daughters of the Confederacy are, but a lot of the narratives that our people are running with are narratives that come up out of that racist group of women who concocted and contrived a lot of these things that our people use as the framework for their arguments and their positions. And it's just not true. It's not true. Our people never tried to overthrow this government. And you have to understand, what Moorish Americans have to understand about the 14th Amendment is that it serves a much larger purpose than just outlining who is a citizen and how citizenship is acquired. It's way more important than that. Like the brother said, read Section 3. If you've been paying attention to the news lately, you know that Section 3 of the 14th Amendment has come up with regard to the insurrectionists who engaged in that down there at the Capitol building just recently. So the fact of the matter is, this is a way more complex piece of legislation, piece of the Constitution, than what Moore is even we're even looking at it as. So no, we're not technically second-class citizens, although, like Brother Naheem said, Europeans in positions of power and authority have treated us as if that's what we were. That's just not true. We've been subject to the whims of quote unquote white people for a very long time. And just because we're subject to the whims of racist white people doesn't mean that the way they're treating us is based in law or based in any kind of truth or reason. Or you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's not based in facts. It's based on their whims and how they feel about our people. It has nothing to do with the law.
Let's look at today. I mean, excuse me, yesterday, right? Just yesterday, President Trump had the executive order to I guess he had the commission to do the 1776 commission, which, and we're going to build on that on a future program. But that commission was put in place to, not to big up a reparations claim. It wasn't put in place for America to apologize for slavery, which no president has done. It wasn't put in place to talk about the horrors or talk about the fact that even our founding, the so-called founding fathers of America, your George Washingtons, Thomas Jeffersons, etc., it was terrible how they were part of the founding documents, which talked about all people were created free and equal, and life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, all this kind of stuff, and yet they were still holding our people in bondage. His document actually was trying to basically downplay their role in advancing our people's oppression in America via slavery. It was trying to rewrite the narrative to take away any kind of points that may help a reparations claim, and that was what that executive order is about. So when you're talking about putting us always being at the whims of the racist so-called whites in America, that was just a furthering on that. And keep in mind, family, he did that on that came out on Dr. King's on MLK Day, right? You don't think that was intentional? Of course it was. Of course it was. And you don't think it was intentional that was going to be put out on his way out? Of course it was. That's right, Corey.
That's right, Corey. Corey just said that was also to refute Nicole Hannah Jones's New York Times compilation, the 1619 project.
That's why they got started. That's exactly right.
Y'all want to get the brother
Islam? Yes, let's let the brother
in. Islam, brother.
Islam, can y'all hear me?
Islam.
Yeah.
You well.
Oh, all right. Yeah. This is Brother Cornelius Sanders Bay calling out of Florida Republic. First and foremost, I'd like to rise to my highest heights and give all perfect praise to our Father God Allah. All right, gentlemen. I was just on here. I came on here to listen. My good brother Asim was on here. So I came on here. I wasn't really gonna say anything because I wasn't invited on here per se personally. So I just been listening to everything you brothers had to say. Each one of y'all, everyone got some valid points on what they were saying, from where they was coming from, which I respect from where anyone's coming from. But the fact of the matter is, from the subject matter, I mean, I'm not going to touch on the reparations things because that right there, that's not even nothing to even go back and forth with. But I did hear the brother talking about citizenship and what kind of citizen and this citizen. And I raised this question because I heard you brothers saying it. So, I mean, I want to know just as well as anybody else. So y'all say that that nobody, the 14th Amendment, whatever, this, that, and the third. So I just want to know what law can make us a citizen or makes you a citizen because you're a citizen. So what law are you under that makes you a citizen? If you could answer me that.
Okay, that's a question that we've heard from.
I would love to get into that.
What's that? The Temple 13 Baltimore Moors. We've been hearing that question
a lot of people
for years, right? What law makes you a citizen is jus sanguinis and jus soli, the law of the land and the law of the blood. And our people, as has been shown, and I can pull this up, have been, since the inception of this country in 1776, been recognized as citizens. Continuously.
Bro, I hear what you're saying, bro. I'm just asking one. All you gotta do is go straight to the question and answer the question.
I answered it. I said just sanguinis.
Look.
I said just sanguinis and just soli, the law of the land and the law of the blood.
Listen, bro. I heard what you said. I heard everything you said, and I'm still asking you what law makes you a citizen. I know what just sanguinis means, the right of blood. I know just soli means the right of soil. You still didn't tell me the law that makes you a citizen, bro. That's it. That's all I want. That's all I'm asking for any one of y'all to just answer me that. It don't matter. It don't matter if you heard something.
Got it.
Triple 13, Baltimore
Understood.
I'm just asking
questions. We got you, brother. We gonna answer
questions so I can be more informed.
Okay.
No doubt. Right. Okay. So here's the thing. Citizenship was not outlined by law until the 14th Amendment. Before the 14th Amendment specifically, and the only reason they did that with the 14th Amendment was to clarify what the Dred Scott case muddied. Before the Dred Scott case, the Constitution mentions someone called a natural-born citizen. Natural-born citizen. Where did that come from? Where did the concept of a natural-born citizen come from?
Bro,
The concept of natural-born citizenship.
No, hold on, brother.
Wait. All you gotta do.
I'm
getting ready to tell you. I'm getting ready to tell you this.
He's answering your question. Go ahead, brother Ali.
I'm going to say this in short and then explain. The law that makes any black person a citizen is the same law that makes any white person a citizen. That's the short, right? What you do, what Moors have been trained to do, because Moors are pushing the identity of Moorish American. And you're pushing the identity of Moorish American because you want that to catch. You want it to stick more than you want African American or black or Negro or any of these other things to stick. So because you're trying to push and support the idea of Moorish American as an identity for all of our people here, you keep asking the question, what makes quote unquote black people citizens? Well, I'm going to tell you, the same law that makes any white person, any Chinese person, any Japanese person, any Hindu, any English, any Indian, any Turk, any Chinese or whoever, anybody else that's a citizen in this country is a citizen by way of the same principles that undergird the 14th Amendment as any other white person. Because there is no law that specifically makes a race of people a citizen. There's no law that's specific to any race. There's no law that's specific to any nationality. So the question that you should be asking is, what law made any so-called white person a citizen? But you never ask that question because y'all have been trained to attack black people who are classified as blacks or Negroes or whatever the case is. I get it. That's a part of your doctrine. You really feel like in order to make the point that Moorish American is some kind of superior status, that you have to consistently attack blackness and black people standing in this country. You feel like that's what you're supposed to do. You don't have to do that. The fact of the matter is you should be attacking whiteness. You should be attacking whiteness. That's the thing you should be attacking. The fact is there is no law that says white people are citizens of the United States, but you don't question that. So I'm trying to tell you the principles that undergird what's outlined in the 14th Amendment, Section 1, are the principles of jus soli, jus sanguinis. Those same principles were at work when they defined in the Constitution previous to the 14th Amendment the individual called the natural born citizen. Those particular principles come with them as common custom, common practice from the common law and the common practices of England when they created the colonies here. That was just something that was normal. If you were born here, you're a citizen. A citizen just means a member of the society. And our people, what Naheem has been trying to tell y'all, is that our people have been members of the society, have been acknowledged as members of the society, even in the opinion in the Dred Scott case. Our people were acknowledged as members, participating members, landowners, property owners, voting, whatever. I can even show you people in the 16. I can even military members. I can even show you people in the 1600s holding office in the colonies, quote unquote black people, political office. Okay, so the fact of the matter is the principles that undergird the laws of citizenship are the principles of jus soli, jus sanguinis. You can't get rid of the principles. Those principles are what makes everybody, whether you calling them white, black, Hispanic, whatever the case is, those principles are what determine citizenship in this country. Are you born to a person who has a natural, legal, political relationship to this government or not? And if so, do you qualify for naturalization? That's the bottom line, bro. Like, there's nothing else to that. Y'all are trying to make this into something that is not. Black people are citizens of the United States and have been.
Let's see what Asim got to say.
Peace, brother.
I'm sitting over here burning up for no reason. All I did was ask you a question.
Peace. I want to ask. That
don't even make no sense, bro. Come on,
peace. I just want to say one point. I want to make a point real quick, brother. We were talking about the 14th Amendment, and the 14th Amendment, states about granted privileges and things of that nature. What does the 13th Amendment with the 20 sections?
With the 13th Amendment with 20 sections. There's no 13th. It was never ratified. But all right, let's all right, brother Sanders.
I'm just asking a question.
Amendment with 20 sections. It was never ratified. It was a pro-slavery document that was shut down when it was brought up to a vote. Only 6 Confederate senators signed on to it. But brother Sanders Bay, you said you burning up. You said what brother Ali said made no sense.
Bro,
so
y'all know me, yo, bro, listen. All I did was ask a question, bro. I didn't ask for all of that whole long, drawn out, whole little spiel, bro. I could care less about anything, bro.
Why you on here, bro?
Listen, Pete Game. I just came here to listen, but then when you started saying, well, yeah, there's a brother on the line, I said, well, okay, then I'm gonna go ahead and speak. I said, well, from listening to what y'all was saying, I was just trying to get some kind of input on what y'all saying, bro. All of that yelling and trying to overtalk somebody and talking all that craziness, bro. You still ain't proving no point. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I think the point was proven, but you just don't understand what was being said.
If I'm asking you to tell me
don't
something,
understand.
just like if you ask me, I'm gonna get straight to it. If you ask me a question, I'm gonna tell you straight up. Bro, you still
don't understand the answer.
Hold on, Ali. Hold on. Let me say
Josh.
Well, you know, this, that, the third.
All right,
this, that, the third, bro. No, come on, bro.
Right,
look. This is what it is, bro. Hold on. This is what it is. This is what it is. See, you know, Be the Power. If you look at our subscriber base, brother, and this is not to brag or boast or nothing, but it's like it's damn near 10,000 people, right? I don't know how many people is watching live, and we don't know necessarily how many people is going to watch this video after. So we were using, the brother Ali was using the question that you asked, not only to answer the question for you, but also as a teaching moment for a lot of other people who are watching, a lot of other people who are going to watch this video later. So, you know, don't take it as he was trying to come at you. You know, that's not what it was. It's not what any of this is about. We're using this as a teaching moment for a lot of other people that's watching, because man, we've been doing this for a long time, and it gets tiring to answer some of the same questions over and over and over again.
Josh. Hold on, Josh. Hold on, because he dropped off, and I want you to continue your point. This is why we wanted to do this tonight, family. It was a teaching moment that these guys are obviously a part of. He said the Moorish Republic. We've done battle with these people 10 years ago. 10 years ago. They know who we are. They know exactly who we are. The brother Asim already said it, right? So when the brother asked the question, I answered the question. The right of the land and the right of the soil, the right of the soil and the right of the blood. Meaning you are born here. When you're born here, you're a citizen of the United States of America, period. I don't care what nobody says. That's a fact. That is a fact. Now, what Ali did was when you're
born here and not subject to any other foreign jurisdiction.
That's right.
There you go.
Right. So we weren't subject to any other foreign jurisdiction. Like, this is just, it's simple. It is historical. It can be proven. It can be pulled up and shown. Like, I could have really just pulled up a whole bunch of stuff, but I never had to. Only thing we can do is pray that these brothers take notes and come back one day. If you didn't feel that you were equipped to answer the questions, bring your sheiks, your top grand sheik, bring him, see if he'll come have this discussion. It's going to be the same result. Because he's not only that,
and not only that, you know, again, this is not even for them in particular. This is never for.
Go ahead, brother Josh.
No, I was saying this is you know, this is not for them particularly, at least not solely. You know what I mean? Obviously, you know, again, we appreciate you coming on or whatever the case may be, but. This is like when we make it. If it was just for you, we would have just made a private conversation out of it, right? This is a live broadcast to YouTube, which is in theory billions of people can see it, right? But we know a lot of people that's going to be watching, the people who subscribe to this brother, to this Be the Power program YouTube channel is people that are going to. A lot of these are people that are in the Moorish movement or a part of some type of Moorish organization or ideology or whatever the case may be. So we know that those people need to hear, a lot of those people need to hear this message because they're getting fed and have surrounded themselves by a lot of false information. And let me say this. We're asked some of the questions that are being asked from a lot of people from the Moorish community are the wrong questions. It's like, how long are we going to be asking the same questions for all these years that are not even relevant to anything that's dealing with our political uplift or collective uplift economically? The question you shouldn't be asking, well, how can black people, the question you should be asking, the question you should not be asking is, why can't black people receive reparations? The question you should be asking is, how can we receive reparations, right? And
I don't want them to ask that question, bro, because they don't have the requisite information to answer it properly.
When they ask it, we're gonna give them the answer. We gonna give them the answer. And so we talking about citizenship. And we're talking about, well, we can't be citizens. Meanwhile, you got to look at the political landscape. 11 million undocumented people here, illegal immigrants here, is about to be given citizenship, and the rights of citizenship. That's encroaching upon opportunities and things that are in here already for citizens. So why are we not paying attention and advocating for things that will be material to our uplift here right now, based on what's happening in today's political landscape? See, we can't be so out of the box, man. If we ever gonna get anything, we're gonna have to be in reality. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I'm not disagreeing with you on anything. I didn't even come on this thread. Just
that wasn't a shot directly at you, brother. I was just speaking.
No, I'm not saying you are directly at me. You speaking as a general whole. I get you, but I didn't come on this thread. That's why I said, don't take the a-hole comment as as personally. Like I said, I didn't come on this thread because I seen what you posted and I put up the definition. I put those up. So
So is that a soft apology or is that a?
It's not a soft apology. If I offended you in any way, brother, I do apologize.
Okay, that's better, brother. That's better.
Like I said, I'm not coming on this thread to combat you or anything. It was a process of passing information. That's what I mean. To me, that's what it is.
So let me ask you a question, brother. Do you feel that you've learned anything different tonight, or are you sticking with what you've been pushing from out of I think the Moorish Republic,
Black's Law Dictionary,
and the Black's Law, because
honestly, the majority of my thoughts weren't just coming from out of Moorish science. They were coming from my own thoughts, and I was wanting to know from you, because like I said, I've seen you before, and some of the rhetoric that I've heard from you before is different from what I'm hearing from you now. Indeed. So that's the reason why I even made the comment on your page in the first place.
So now that somebody asks an interesting question in the chat, Sister Shayna Ward says, ask him, will he support reparations now that you know a little better?
No.
Okay, so what about when Prophet Noble Drew Ali was quoted as saying, we're going to be paid for the work that our ancestors did in slavery and paid off, I'm butchering it, and paid off in compound interest, talking about reparation?
Well, to my demonstration, and compound interest is compensation.
That's what this is. It's a debt owed.
It has nothing to do with.
Hold on, brother. Hassan, hold on. Reparations is.
You should just put up the definition of reparations from Google. Google uses the Oxford Dictionary as its source for its definitions. Oxford, according to Taj Tariq Bey, Oxford is the source that the scholars use. So use the Google definition of reparations.
All right, I'm going to do that. Let's pull that up real quick.
I do have a definition.
It says, now, the making of amends for a wrong one has done by paying money, that's compensation, to or otherwise helping those, that's still compensation, who have been wronged. And then it gives you a example. The courts required a convicted offender to make financial reparations to his victim. In this case, we are the victim, and the United States of America is the convicted offender. This is why they have redress and grievance in the United States of America. So how is it that we were enslaved, we went through Jim Crow, segregation, redlining, we got boxed out of the GI Bill, we got discriminated against in the in the financial institutions? There was a report that we pull up all the time that said because of racial discrimination since 2011, the U.S. economy lost 16 trillion. Meaning if we would have got what we were supposed to get just from that time, the economy would be $16 trillion richer. So why do you believe that the people that have been harmed by this country that built it for free and was never compensated, and the little bit of compensation we did get, they took back? Why do you feel that these people, who are also the poorest people in the United States of America, should not be compensated for the work that their ancestors did in slavery, i.e. reparations?
Brother, I never said they shouldn't be compensated. I said reparations. They should be compensated, brother. That's what I said. They should be. I didn't say, I said reparations, no. She asked, the question was, am I for reparations? I said no. Am I for compensation? Yes. That was her question.
You know, reparations and compensation are synonymous terms. They mean the same thing.
Well, okay, all right, now, wait a minute. Now, you can, in a kind of way, you're making sense. In a kind of way, it kind of makes sense if according to both definitions, because compensation is and reparation is still giving victims something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I guess we can agree to disagree. I got nothing.
You know, I didn't disagree with that.
Yeah,
I said it's the same thing.
All right, so I guess like I said, we can agree, because then that's what it is. Because I read in both definitions, it's still giving a victim something for, you know, trials of war or things of that matter, you know, victim of crime. You have to pay.
But my question is, why wouldn't you support that? Like, why would you not support that?
I would not, because
we the only people that work against our own interest. And
I'm not here. Wait a minute, brother. I'm not here to work. I'm not here to work against.
Hold on 1 second.
You just cut me off. Wait a minute. You just cut me off. I'm gonna let you go.
Let him finish real quick, Grim. Go ahead.
I'm gonna be real fast. I'm not here to work against any of my people, because if that was the case, I wouldn't even never jumped on, or I wouldn't never popped on and said anything. That's not what I'm doing here. What I'm here is building. That's what I came to do.
What you don't know, brother, is that you subscribe to a body of knowledge and a body of information that is doing that, but you don't know it.
Brother, black is not a nationality. It's not a.
Nobody said it was.
I'm going back there because it's not. There's no way.
I just jumped on the show, so I don't know what the conversation is, but I didn't say anything about black being a nationality. Basically,
I know we were
talking
about reparations for black people.
You subscribe to a body of knowledge that is potentially hurtful and harmful to our people, and you don't know it. That's why when you said, when Brother Naheem asked you if you support reparation, you said no, because that is a knee-jerk. That's a knee-jerk ego reaction, because you feel that if you support reparations, that will be going against the Moorish sovereign citizenship.
Brother, you cannot tell me how I'm feeling. So that's a false statement. Please listen. That's an opinion.
Let me make this statement, brother. Let me make this statement. Let's just say all of us was Moorish Americans. We not Negro, colors, and black. We belong to the ancient Moroccan Moabite Empire, right? You would still have to admit that there was an injustice done in the 1865 and before to our people. Let's just say our nationality was stripped and we were made to be under the moniker black, right? We would still have to get reparations to repair the fact that the pale-skinned nations of Europe wronged us in some type of way. So in order for you to say that you don't support reparations, it just does not make sense. Let's just say all the Moorish ideology in regards to the laws were correct. We were wrong. We were put into slavery, right? Everything was taken from us. So we have to be compensated and we have to be repaired. The word repair is part of the word reparations. You follow what I'm saying to
yes, Grim.
So
yes,
Grim. So for you to even say that you don't agree with that, right, is just a knee-jerk reaction to basically deny the knowledge that these brothers have been telling you probably since this show come on, brother. And that's what I'm saying. And I'll put something in the box, right? Basically, think about this, right? All these people coming over here from all over the world, right? And they are obtaining their citizenship in one shape, form, or fashion. They obtaining citizenship. They coming from Asia. They coming from Europe, right? They coming from the South America, and they obtaining citizenship. But you don't question them on what make, like the other guy was saying, what makes black people citizens. See, this is how deep the inferiority complex.
Break it down. Break it down, bro.
Come here and get citizenship. Chinese people can get here and some citizenship. Everybody can come here, but the black people that were here from the beginning, fighting in the Civil War, fighting the American Revolution, fighting in every other skirmish that this nation had, acknowledged as citizens. Justice McLean, in a dissenting opinion, said that we were there, our people was there and signed on to the ratification, right, of the Constitution. And there was no Moorish Science Temple handing out nationality cards and all that stuff back then. And we were there fighting and ratifying the Constitution. You follow what I'm saying? So with that being said, that goes to show you the level of inferiority that we have to, that as a person of quote unquote Moorish descent, right? I have to fill out all of this paperwork, file it with the clerk, all this bogus saying I'm knee knock punk ass nigga El Bay, right? I gotta fill out all that damn information, right? And put all that stuff on there just to be acknowledged, the same as a white guy who just woke up this morning and like the brother said, got his citizenship. So I gotta jump through hoops to get my citizenship. Just think about the level of inferiority and the inferiority complex attached to that. And we gonna get into some of that stuff in another show. But the bottom line, man, is that a lot of the concepts that you all have accepted outside of the of what Noble Drew Ali in his literature, right, had to put down, a lot of that stuff has been grafted from some of the same people, the same ideologies and understandings of the people that ran in the Capitol building on January 6th. Just think about who you connected to and related to. Let me tell you something.
Let me real quick, real quick. I want to say this. The brother Cornelius Bay said, "I'm coming from out of the Florida Republic." No Moors ever called the state that they lived in republic. The sovereign citizen movement, Europeans, spawns of the Confederate South, mad because they lost the Civil War. They are the ones that started calling the states republics because they wished that they were separate from the United States of America, America's federal government. I just had to interject that. Go ahead, Brother Grimm.
So yeah, and even to add on to what you saying, Naheem, all of that stuff has its root. This the Florida Republic, this the Georgia Republic, this the New York Republic. That stuff has its roots, right, in the states' rights arguments that these people held on to. And they were using these states' rights arguments to basically keep our people enslaved. They were saying if we have slavery, that's on us because we are a sovereign state and we have state right. They were using these arguments to basically continue to hold our people in slavery. And really, man, the whole Moorish structure, right, of the way that they understand the history. I'm not saying, none of the brothers ain't saying that we Moors. This country is an outgrowth or is part of the outgrowth of the fall of the Moorish Empire. And we can get into that history. We're not saying that we don't have any type of Moorish connection. What we're saying is that a lot of the spiritual doctrine and a lot of the legal mumbo jumbo that has been adopted and attached to the word Moor over the last several decades, right, is not conducive to the forward movement of our people. So, brother, I seem ill when you said that you don't accept reparations. That is problematic because, man, they got people out. Everybody's getting access to something. Nobody should be against anything that builds wealth for the group, regardless of whether they call themselves black, colored, Negro, Ethiopian, African American. Nobody should be against the actual something that will benefit us all. And that shows a problem. And that goes to the arrogance. See, there's an arrogance, Brother Josh. There's an arrogance surrounding those Moorish legal concepts in the minds of those people. Because basically, when they saying, oh, you not a citizen, you this, y'all ain't nothing, y'all just blacks, y'all just Negroes, y'all ain't like us. See, there's a arrogance in the air that you are superior to your brother. And this is not a shot at you, I seen, because I don't know you. And most of these dudes be convicts. They haven't even had their rights extolled. Some of these guys still living with their mamas and their grandma's basements and stuff like that. But they have adopted these arrogant ideologies to cause them on social media and YouTube to attack their brothers and sisters based upon terminology. Now, Ali and Ali talk about this all the time. I seen you are living under rights. You are living under rights and privileges that your ancestors were denied, but restored to you based upon the sacrifice of your ancestors and mine. And we're under the moniker of Negro, colored, black people in Ethiopia. You follow what I'm saying? And these people suffered and died for you to be able to walk down the block and not have to jump off the sidewalk when a European or quote unquote white man walk past you. You understand? They equal protection under the law. All this stuff that the people that you may disparage for a terminology or the usage of a particular terminology. I mean, bro, that's an inferiority complex that a lot of people in that movement don't know that they have.
Woo. And it's an off ramp. Woo. It's an off ramp. Everybody is looking for an off ramp to escape being at a bottom caste. You know, if it's not being a part of the Moorish movement, it's about being a Hebrew Israelite, some type of stuff with that, some type of sovereign citizen, some type of autochthonous, you know, indigenous, some type of LGBT, you know,
That's right.
or a straight sellout coon for straight up with no cloak with the white Republicans and conservatives. Everybody is looking for that off ramp. Grim, you be going in, bro. I'm glad you be coming to Be the Power.
I told people once this brother got the teaching, it's a wrap. My brother just wanted to come on a couple times at first and just put people heads in the headlock, especially from out that Moorish movement. But I was like, if we could get our brother Grim on and start going in, like like I told people before, way before probably Grim ever even came on any program, that we got another brother that goes in. So, you know, hopefully our brother will come on more and we could start getting into some of the information that he would break down on his YouTube channel, dealing with the what was that one joint you did? It was a 3-part series, Grim. What was it? The Divine Plan of the Ages. Them joints right there was crazy. I mean, crazy. So we're gonna start getting into some of that. But fam, we're gonna close this. We're gonna close this down. Oh, brother Asim dropped off. I was gonna give him a chance to make. All right, there you go. All right, look, brother Asim.
Nah, you kept me on,
brother. We're about to close out after this.
I know, but you kept me on mute. I want to real quick. I ain't gonna be long. I want to address the brother that was talking. First of all, brother, listen. Like I said, I ain't listen. You didn't school me about nothing. First off, and second off, I'm not against any of you on this thread. Just because I said I'm against reparations, that's not an attack on you or anybody else. I got people in my family who claim are black and all these other things, brother. So I'm not against nothing. So I just want to say that in peace. It's not personal. All right, that's all.
Oh no, I didn't take it personal, brother. I didn't take it personal. Believe me, I've been around this thing for a long time, and I didn't take it personal. But basically, I was speaking to the mind state of those type of arguments where it may make you feel good, but a lot of that stuff is erroneous, man. Look, I shut down social media, all that stuff behind the Moorish movement, man, years ago. And Naheem can tell you, I turned back on my computer and got back on social media, and it was the same thing. And a lot of that stuff, like the Florida Republic and all this stuff, and man, we done seen so many people, brother Asim, hurt by that stuff. Lost their lives, lost their homes, cause.
I understand you. I understand. Right. I live my life a different type of way.
Right, and you know what the excuse was when people, when I said, well, what about these people getting hurt? You know what the other Moors' excuse always was in that regard? Well, they didn't do it right. They were supposed to do this. They were supposed to do that. It was always an excuse why the Moorish sovereign citizenship stuff did not work, you know? And man, I went through the years. I mean, what's the guy up in Chicago?
I can't speak for anybody else, brother. I hear you.
He ain't asking you to speak for anybody else. Right. He's just bringing up, you know, different
instances. I understand.
Brother Asim, this is we've been doing this for a while, bro. And I'm gonna tell you, and we have shown you, and we can continue to show you that in this argument we have the superior position. We have it don't matter who you bring on. It don't matter who you bring on.
It's your thread, brother. It's your thread. Like I said, I didn't come.
I mean, it wouldn't matter if it was your thread.
But it was
your thread.
But it was good pass the knowledge. I got information from a lot of you brothers on here. You know what I mean? I definitely appreciate it. You know what I mean? You invited me on. I came. You know, I said my apologies or whatever. But you know, like I said, I really don't have no beliefs. I'm a free thinker, regardless of what I've learned out of the Moorish science movement. I'm a free thinker. You know what I mean? I move the way I move at the end of the day.
Understood. All right, but so at the end of the day, remember, because I'm about to get off here. I got to get off here. Let's remind the people how we got here. I want to remind the people how we got here.
Because I jumped on your page and said something.
You came on my page.
Yeah.
Let me read it. You said, you know, just as well as I know, that black people can't get reparations more by way of Black's Law Dictionary, 5th edition. And, you know, right. we went over that. For those that's just joining, please go. I didn't even pull up where people did get reparations in places like Chicago.
And Rosewood.
Tulsa. Did they get it in Tulsa or are they working on it?
No, they're trying to get it in Tulsa, but they did. I think they did put a reparations
in other places around the country.
Legislation.
Right. Several other places around the country. So that's just not true, brother Asim. We understand the argument because we've been there. And that's why I asked you, did you follow the doctrine of the Moorish Science Temple of America, where it says the wise man doubts often and changes his mind. The fool is obstinate and doubts not. He knows all things except his own ignorance. There's a reason why that's in the lessons, because as I said earlier, once you get superior information, you cannot hold on to the information you now know in your mind is false, because then there's no way for you to be the message that you bring, because you know that you're telling a lie. And I'm not saying that that you're doing that right now, because you probably didn't know most of this information. And I will advise you to go back and listen to this again. Now, let me go back and jot this down. The brother came on, what's his name? Cornelius Bay. He didn't want to have a discussion. He just wanted, at least you were willing to engage. And you know what I'm saying? It got a little testy earlier. I'm used to all of that stuff. That stuff really don't bother me. But he didn't want to have the conversation because it challenged what he wants to believe. See, what you want to believe and what's actual fact, what can be proven, are two different things, brother. I walked the path.
I know that firsthand.
Okay? I walked the path before you, brother. The same path that you're on. I walked it before you, brother.
Me too. Grim, Ali, all of us.
We all walked it, brother.
I want to say one thing in closing, and then I'm gonna say peace.
All right.
And that is, anybody listening, you need to be advocating for reparations for the descendants of the people who went through chattel slavery, Jim Crowism, convict leasing, redlining, domestic terrorism at the hands of the Ku Klux Klan and all, and miseducation through the daughters of the Confederacy, and mass incarceration, and crack cocaine being brought to your community via the United States government. You need to be advocating for reparations, period. Because if you don't, all of that,
racial gerrymandering,
all of that. You know what I'm saying?
With that being said, I think all groups who are trying to uplift people should come together as a whole to make something happen versus being all scattered all over the place.
Well, you know the problem. You know what the problem with that in particular in regard to your school of thought. See, all of the Negroes, colors, and blacks maybe can do that, but a lot of the Moors won't be able to do that. And here's why: because they are so tied into the argument that certain things won't work because of the usage of racial terminology, that you all will never be able to work together in anything substantive, because everybody will be saying, oh, okay, we came to a consensus on reparations. The Moors, from that type of mentality, I should say, we'll say, well, we can't do this because we haven't filed this. We haven't filed that. We got to do this to gain our nationality. We don't have no nationality, so we'll never get reparations. So if not, I'm not a personal attack against you, but if someone follows that vein of thought or that understanding, they'll never be able to unify with the ADOS movement or the NAACP or the Urban League or whatever, because you all are going to always have the claim of superiority because you believe that you tap into your Moorish history and your nationality. Now I'm gonna say this, Naheem, and I'm gonna shut up. We talk about.
Talking to me.
Yeah, Naheem.
He was talking to me. He said Naheem.
Oh,
yeah, I'm sorry, brother. But basically, when you talk about nationality, right? The root of nationality is nation. So if you saying that you connected to something in particular, right? Where is that nation that is supporting you in that nationality hyphen American nationality? So if you are Moorish American and you saying that you connected into this ancient nation, who is representing you? And I'm gonna answer that. No one. Morocco is not representing you. No, Tunis not representing. Algiers is not representing you. Hell, Nigeria not even representing us. So we something new over here in this country, man, and we've been forged in fire and in blood, brother. I seen ill, and I'm an ill too, and I still carry that ill. But man, it's just a lot of studies and understanding the basically, man, when that movement was birthed, brother Azim, there was a lot of impurities in that thing. So That's why brothers like me and Naheem and Ali, we walked your path, and we basically ended up on the outskirts of the movement because we had studies, research, and understandings that a lot of the Moors would not accept. Not because it wasn't true, but they just didn't want to leave the dynamic of what they had.
Indeed. So look, I got to get off of here, fam. Brother Asim L, like I said, go back, look at it, and if you got any questions, hit me up. My inbox is open to you. Let's build, brother. Thanks for coming on. You know, if one of your Moors that's maybe a higher up feel that they could bring a better argument, because some Moors do that. Oh, I would have said this. I would have brought this up. I would have brought that up. If they come at you like that, say, all right, brother, just go on with them brothers. Then we'll have them on.
Hey, like I said, brother, I didn't come here for that. I just came here because you were building and you invited me. I came, so let's build on it. That's why I came.
Okay,
here.
Definitely. Thanks for coming through, brother. Peace and love.
All right, peace. Thanks.
All right, family. Peace and love. We will be back on probably Thursday. We were supposed, again, I'm going to say we were supposed to go on Sarnetta tonight. Like I said, it was depending on what happened last night. So ain't nothing happened last night. So we ain't do Sarnetta tonight. So, you know, I just want to say peace to the family and peace to my bros. Thanks for coming through, brothers.
One love.
Peace.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.